Sure that we're live beforehand. Sure if we're live. Not sure. Are we live? Okay. Looks like we might be live now. Yeah, we are live. Okay, guys. Welcome to Mr. Rock Ranks. Most of the concerts he's been to. There's your host, Mr. Rock. Hope everyone's doing wonderful out there and a wonderful YouTube. So this is going to be quite a unique ranking in a way, because I'm going to rank it from 1 to 10, but also A to F in a way. That's how I've decided I'm going to do. I'm going to do two ranks. A being the best concert of all time, and 10 being the best. Whereas, where does the experience also fall? So technically, like, A could be the best experience of all time, whereas F could be the worst experience of all time. And also, like, so far, whatever. But with that being said, let's talk about the reason why I'm doing this video. So a lot of people don't know that I've been to probably about, I like to say, over 1,000 concerts in a way. I might be exaggerating just a little. It wouldn't be much if I am. It wouldn't be that much. But yeah, and over the years, I literally have seen pretty much a lot of classic rock bands, a lot of guys that are literally come and gone, and it's kind of sad when you really think about it, you know. But yeah, with that being said, I am seeing three concerts uh, and everything else. It's been a long time since I've seen three concerts in 3 months, to be honest. I used to do concerts almost every week, it felt like. But it's been a while since I've done three concerts in 3 months. I got Deep Purple, AC/DC, and Wasp coming up. And, well, Saturday is Deep Purple, AC/DC is in September 20th, and then Wasp is October 19th. But yeah, being said, let's go and start ranking these concerts in a way. The first concert I like to rank is actually Deep Purple. So a lot of people don't know this, but I've already seen Deep Purple once. So let's talk about that. So so this was back in February 2012, I think it was. Hold on, I'll take a look. I have all the concert tickets over here actually, up to there. Yeah, it says February 12, 2012. It says. Okay, so yeah. But yeah, that concert wasn't bad in a way. For the first time seeing Deep Purple. Um, you know, my biggest problem about that concert was it just kind of felt small in a way. Like the lighting wasn't that great, but overall they played the music. It was nice to see them in a way. Uh, I know it wasn't the original guys, to be honest. I hate to say it, I knew that. John Lord died in 2003 or 4. So it was but it was still unique to see. Um, what would I give that Deep Purple concert? I would actually give the first time I seen Deep Purple a 6 out of 10, and I'm gonna give it a B rank in a way. It was a good concert, but it could have been a lot better in a way. So yeah. With that being said, let's rank even more. So the next one I kind of want to do is my favorite band, which I'm wearing, which I got at the concert way back in the day. This is actually a tour concert. Let's talk about Montreal. Judas Priest, Montreal 2014. So I actually went with Dee Dee in a way. Dee Dee Gibson, I think is her last name, if I remember correctly at the time. I think she got married, so I don't know what her last name is now. But at the time, me and Dee Dee went on this trip, who was also my staff. That's the only way how I can literally travel, guys. So I have to have a staff or whatever, and I have to literally have people with me at all times because I can literally collapse, fall down, faint, whatever. Like I am still ill. So I literally had to get a doctor's approval. I remember the whole entire process. I had to get doctor's approval. I had to literally pay for the trip, pay for this, pay for the. It got to the point where it was like, okay, if I just wait a little, I could literally have saved a lot of money. But I did not know that Judas Priest was going to come to Winnipeg the next year. But the first time, we did the trip in a way. I went to Montreal. We stayed in a fancy hotel. Once seen them at the Bell Center, which was really cool because technically, growing up, I was a Montreal Canadiens fan, so get to see all the Montreal Canadiens uh, statues and trophies and all that stuff. And it was quite a unique experience. The opening band was Steel Panther, and Judas Priest opened. I meant was the starting band, but even Steel Panther playing, 18 girls or whatever. I forget what the song was, but it was like 18 girls, 18 whatever women or whatever, and they had all these like girls coming out half naked, showing almost everything. It was literally like a pretty good experience, you know. And I'm just literally sitting there going, wow. I'm in my 20s. I'm literally thinking, wow, this is freaking amazing. And yeah, I was there for about 3 days, I think, in Montreal. I think it was about 3 days. I couldn't stay longer because I had court the next day. Yeah, so yeah, um, and that was one of the things is that I would literally still have to go to court if I wanted to go to the concert. I would have to be back. But yeah, um, uh, but that concert, I'm actually gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It wasn't my favorite in a way concert of all time, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Even though it's my favorite band, it wasn't my favorite concert of all time. So I'll tell you what my favorite concert is eventually. But yeah, no, I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10. I think that's respectfully. Um, and where would I put it? I put it in an A. An A actually means I would see the band over and over again. Does when they come. B means technically I might see them if they come in a way, if the price is right. You know, F means F off. You know, so yeah. But yeah, with that being said, let's talk about the next few bands. Let's talk about a bad one. I'm going to talk about a very bad experience I had. This one will go in the F category already. That's ZZ Top. I'm sorry, in a way, for anyone that is a ZZ Top fan. I know Frank Beard just died recently, but I seen ZZ Top years ago, and it was probably the worst concert I've ever seen in my life. Hate to say it, but it probably was. There was no opening act. They played like 3 or 4 songs, walked off the stage in a way, and it was very bad. Like they did Sharp Dressed Man, they did the Tush song, I think a couple other songs, and then they walked off the stage. And I thought, okay, you know, like they're just going to get some water. No, the show was over. I was literally still staying there, thinking that maybe something else was going to happen. The security literally told me, no, the show's over. Get out. I was literally blown away. It was the first concert I ever got kicked out of for only being in there for 30 minutes. And this was at the MTF Center, I think it was. This was not at a like outdoor concert. If it was an outdoor concert, okay, fine, whatever. But I actually paid like what was it, $50, $60 or something like that, and it was literally one of the worst concerts ever. Hate to say it for a classic rock band. Like I could have just bought a DVD and watched it live at that point. You know, I expect to literally watch a concert for at least an hour in a way if I'm paying 50, 60 dollars. not 4 songs, walk off the stage, and that's it. Now, if they had health problems, okay, I understand. But there's no indication of health problems or anything else. So I have no idea what happened. But yeah, that was a pretty bad concert. Let's talk about our last concert, in a way. Let's talk about Black Sabbath. So I seen Black Sabbath with my mom and Eldon, and this was the last concert, and this was the last time I hanged out with Ozzy Osbourne, which a lot of people know. I did a video talking about I knew Ozzy and all that stuff, which is true, in a way. I'm not denying that. But it was the last time I actually got to actually see Ozzy, hang out with him. We've seen Black Sabbath live. I dressed as Ozzy, uh, went backstage, in a way, had a picture taken, and I don't have that picture anymore. I don't know what happened to it, in a way. I really don't. I think Eldon might have literally got the picture, in a way. If I remember correctly, I think I gave it to Eldon. I'm not sure. But it was me, Eldon, and my mom. And I literally told Eldon that we're going to go meet Ozzy at the concert. And he literally said, no way, you're not. I said, yeah, we're going to go meet him. I know him personally. We're going to literally go hang out. He literally said, okay. He didn't believe me at first. So after the concert, we go meet Ozzy and everything else. And it was the last time. And there was a picture. I remember I had the devil horns like this, in a way. The picture has me doing the devil horns like this, and I give Ozzy the frickin' bunny ears, because that's what we used to do to each other back in the day. So yeah. So, but I think Eldon might have that picture. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Eldon in a few years, in a way. It's been a while. But me and Eldon and my mom went to that. What would I rank that concert? I gotta give that concert. I can't give it higher than Judas Priest, in a way. Judas Priest is my favorite, so I'm gonna give it a solid good 8, in a way. And I'm gonna give the concert. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A, but I'm gonna give it an 8. So it was a good concert, great show. I would have paid to see it again. Don't get me wrong. But they didn't really come back again after that, I don't think. Or maybe they did and I just forgot about it. But it was right around that time, in a way, that Ozzy's health was kind of declining. So rest in peace to the legend. Um, I'll talk about another guy that I seen who is dead now too. Let's talk about Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, because I did see Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers as well. Um, the opening act was Steve Winwood. Now, if I remember opening acts, I'm going to talk about opening acts. If I can't remember them, I won't talk about them. But yeah, Steve Winwood was really good. You know, he did Higher Love, he did Valerie, he did all these classic songs. I was really blown away by that, just by that. And then Tom Petty comes out, you know, playing American Girl, Free Fall, and all those great hits. And it was just such an amazing concert. I remember it was raining and pouring out that day too. And there was like a flash flood. The whole entire city was pretty much flooded. And I still went to that concert. And people would say, "Wait, why would you go to a concert when your town is being flooded?" Very simple, because I knew for a fact that technically it's Tom Petty, in a way, and I really wanted to see it. So, um, but yeah, overall, I am gonna give Tom Petty. I'm gonna give him a solid 8 as well. I'm gonna give Tom Petty an 8 out of 10, and I'm gonna put him at the 8 tier. A means I would have seen him again, but circumstances have happened. So that's where A is, in a way. Um, let's talk about another bad concert that I've been to. In a way, let's talk about the Sheepdogs. Now, a lot of people don't know that the Sheepdogs was a band that was recommended to me. I've never even heard of a damn song from them, and I went to their concert. Someone literally said, "Well, technically, Sheepdogs is like the next Led Zeppelin." That's what they told me. They're like the next Led Zeppelin. They're the best damn band ever. So I go to their concert. I'm literally sitting there. I'm thinking, okay, we got next Led Zeppelin. I listened to this goddamn Forsaken band for 2 hours, and I said, what the fuck am I listening to? This is terrible. Crap, crap, crap. I can't believe how bad they were. The opening act is the only thing that saved me from walking out of there. Because the opening act was Monster Truck. Monster Truck was awesome. Great band. I suggest that people do actually go see Monster Truck if you never heard of them. But this was literally before Monster Truck was even a thing. They were opening for Sheepdogs, you know, and technically, yeah. But Monster Truck was an awesome band in a way, and yeah, I would say that concert, if it wasn't for Monster Truck, it would be a 1 in a way. But since Monster Truck literally saved the show, I'm going to give that concert a 4 out of 10. And I'm going to put that right in the D tier. It's not F in a way. F is where I'm really pissed off at the concert. I wasn't really pissed off because of Monster Truck. Let's see, who next that I should talk about? Let's talk about Eddie Money in a way. So I actually did see Eddie Money in a way at Red River X. I was trying to remember the place. Because I don't really actually go there anymore. So I seen him at the Red River X. Great concert. I think I seen him with me and my mom and Eldon, I think. Because Eldon used to go to concerts with us quite a bit. So I think it was me and my mom and Eldon, in a way. And he did all his great hits like Shakin' and everything else. I think tickets were like $10. That's how cheap it was to literally see Eddie Money. And honestly, I would have paid 20 or $30 to see Eddie Money because he was talented at the time. And, you know, and yeah. And where would I put Eddie Money's concert? I would give it a B tier, and I would give it a 7 out of 10. The only reason why is because it was kind of hard to actually hear him because it was an outdoor concert, in a way. The sound quality wasn't great. But in all fairness, it was nice to see him. It was, and everything else. Um, let's talk about a bar. Let's talk about Nazareth. Some people don't like Nazareth. I get it, in a way. But I actually do like Nazareth. And I remember going to the Oak, in a way, to go see Nazareth. The Oak doesn't exist anymore, just to give you guys a little heads up before you look it up. But it was a bar in Winnipeg. It was in Transcona area, I think. And yeah, I went to the concert. Um, and I knew the security guard. There was a security guard named Steve that was working the show. So I just asked, hey, could I have a drink with Nazareth before the show? And he literally said, yeah, sure. So I sat there having a beer with Dan McCaffrey, the lead singer of Nazareth. And it was pretty amazing freaking thing. We sat and talked for about half an hour. You know, he was telling me stories about his rock and roll career, and I just was literally blown away. You know, and he literally said that he knew like AC/DC and all these other guys. So I just sat there just listening and literally just taking it all in. You know, and yeah, um, the one thing I could say about that concert was there was an incident. It's not Nazareth's fault, but it made me leave the concert a little bit early. So I did leave just before the end of the concert because there was a fight going out. Blood was splattering all over my freaking jacket and clothes everywhere. And I wasn't fighting. Two people were fighting right around me. And I literally just had blood splattered everywhere. And I was wearing nice clothes, but I had blood everywhere. So someone actually thought I was literally injured. And I said, no, that guy's injured over there. Like he had his nose broken or something like that. So, so I just left after that concert, and yeah. Um, what would I give the Nazareth concert? I am gonna give that a 6 out of 10 in a way. Like if I stayed for the whole entire concert, I probably would have given it a 7. But since I left a few early, yeah, I would literally give it a 6. And since I also got blood on me, so yeah. Um, but yeah. Now let's talk about the first concert. Now people might be interested to know what was the first concert I seen with my mom. Now, I'm not saying my first concert. I'm saying the first concert I've seen with my mom. Because my first concert was with my dad, probably. And I don't really like to talk about my dad's AKA work, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'll go into the first one with my mom. And that was George Thorogood and the Destroyers. The opening act was Taj Mahal and the Blind Man of Alabama or something like that, I think. Or something. It was a bluesy concert in a way. And I already knew George Thorogood from Winnipeg Beach, Boardwalk, in a way. He was one of the first guys to teach me how to play pool, to be honest, when I was just a little kid. And we had it all set up for my mom. She was actually supposed to go in a limo and go hang out with George and everything else. She literally freaking goes and does these sleeping pills and everything else. So she's sleeping for the whole entire concert. I'm trying to wake her up. I'm literally doing my best to wake her up and literally tell her, you know what, George is waiting for you at the freaking limo, after the concert. And she wouldn't wake up. Eventually, security had to escort us both out of the freaking building because, yeah, the concert was already done. And I'm trying to get her up to literally, because it was her birthday present. So a lot of people don't know that. That was going to be her birthday present. She was going to hang out with George Thorogood and, have like a rock and roll party kind of. So, but yeah, she literally slept through the concert pretty much. And yeah, um, I got to see Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal was really good. I actually did enjoy that. And if people don't know who Taj Mahal is, he's a blues guy. So I think he was on Arthur actually. I think that was the first time I ever heard of Taj Mahal was on an episode of Arthur. But yeah, um, but I'm gonna give the concert with my mom. I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair rank. 7 out of 10. I think it could have been better if my mom didn't pass out sleep and actually got to do the rock and roll thing. You know, like the concert wasn't bad, so I'm giving the overall experience 7. And I'm gonna give that probably a B rank in a way. Um, so let's go Jeff Beck in a way because I did see Jeff Beck at the Pantages Playhouse back on October 22nd, 2011. So this is exactly 1 year after my dad died. Exactly to the date. I go see Jeff Beck live. Um, I was literally shocked that Jeff Beck was actually playing because I used to have this album, Jeff Beck Wired, I think it was called, and I used to play it quite a bit. And I was just blown away by his instrumental music. Rest in peace to Jeff Beck, but he was literally a great guitar player. I just wanted to see him live. And I just remember, like, just blown away by just the performance. And I literally thought to myself, is there a better guitar player at this time than Jeff Beck? In a way, like that's how I felt after seeing that concert. I was blown away so freaking much. And yeah, it got to the point where I just literally thought, oh my goodness, if he ever comes back, I'm going to freaking pay. He never did come back, which is kind of sad, but it's true. You know? And, you know, such amazing talent Jeff Beck was. And I'm going to give that Jeff Beck concert, I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10 in a way for performance. And I'm going to give that A tier. That would have been a concert that I would have literally paid. I wouldn't say it's the best concert of all time in a way, but it's definitely in my top probably 25 in a way. I don't know if it's in my top 10, but I would say at least 20 to 25. But yeah. Now, I'm going to actually talk about my favorite concert of all time. Just now, just to give you guys just a little notice. So I've seen literally hundreds, maybe thousands of concerts, it feels like. And the best concert I literally have ever seen is Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Now, I remember the experience. I remember everything about the concert. And I'm going to talk about that. Hello, Morg. Hope all is well. But yeah, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I got fucking drunk. I got fucking stoned in a way. So yeah, I was literally drinking. I was on drugs. I fucking literally fucking go to this fucking concert. I'm literally not expecting anything of this concert. Like I just hear like it's like a laser light show. I didn't expect it to be this freaking amazing. So I'm literally freaking baked out of my mind. I got this like laser helicopter during the show. And it's literally flying around, and it's just freaking shooting lasers. And I'm freaking stoned, I'm freaking drunk, I'm literally whatever. And I got fucking laser shooting at me. I'm fucking like, it felt like you know how people literally talk about Star Wars and penicillin and all those drugs that they used to do? Well, taking Star Wars, that's how I felt during that concert. It was literally like a freaking blast, you know? And honestly, I would say that is the best concert. If Trans-Siberian Orchestra ever came again, which they haven't, but if they ever came again, I would definitely pay money to see that. And that is a 10 out of 10. That is a concert, period. And I still say it's the best concert I've ever seen. And I've seen concerts, I've seen light shows, I've seen everything like that. But nothing beats that moment where I'm drunk, I'm fucking stoned. I was stoned on fucking shrooms. I was stoned on weed. I fucking drink the fucking Mickey, a Jack Daniels, literally before the concert, and I fucking was literally high as a kite, in a way, you know. And yeah, so let's talk about here. Let's see. Let's talk about BTO because technically BTO is actually from here. Backman Turner Overdrive. I got to see Backman Turner Overdrive at the Winnipeg Jets party, actually, when they literally announced it in 2011 that the Winnipeg Jets was coming back and they had the Winnipeg Jets party and everything else. I decided to go just to see Backman Turner Overdrive and the Guess Who. I heard that they're playing as well. So I got to see both bands. You know, it was kind of a cool moment because they had the Winnipeg Jets actually playing the Montreal Canadiens, I believe it was that night, on television, and it was just like a big jumbo screen, and then they had the music playing, you know, like they were playing Taking Care of Business and stuff like that. And it was not a bad concert. It was free, which honestly, that's what I love most, is if I can get a free concert. That's, and I've seen a lot of free concerts, just to give you guys a little heads up too. But if I could get a free concert, I'm down. So it was literally a pretty good show. Um, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I was drinking that day too, actually. I remember now. I was drinking Sailor Jerry in a way that day, and then I just went to the concert. So yeah, you know, I'm just trying to remember all. So that concert, I'm gonna rank it a 6 out of 10, and I'll give it a B. I'm giving it a B because it was like a good experience to literally see the Winnipeg Jets come back in a way. I'm not a big Winnipeg Jets fan, but it was nice to see them come back and have a party to celebrate them coming back after 15 years. So that's the reason why. So let's rank Helix in a way. I did see Helix at the same place, the Oak, in a way. But that was a better concert than Nazareth. I hate to say it, but it really was. I got the party with Helix as well after. Uh, you know, and because like I told you, I knew the guy that was working the security at the Oak, Steve. So I got the party with Helix. Um, had a few drinks. I'm trying to remember what we did actually, because this was literally over 15 something years ago. I think, well, almost 15 years. Oh man, but I do remember the concert sort of. But yeah, but I'm gonna rank the Helix concert. I'm gonna rank it from what I remember, 7. I'm gonna rank it a 7, and I'm gonna go B tier in a way. I'm just trying to remember it in my head. Actually, I sort of remember it. Like I'm playing it off my memory in a way. But yeah, um, I'm just trying to see. And if there's any bands you want me to literally do in a way that I haven't done, let me know. Anyway, here, let's talk about a big one. Let's talk about Paul McCartney. So I've seen Paul McCartney at the Bomber Stadium, actually. And the reason why I want to talk about that one, because that was the last time I've been to the Bomber Stadium before now AC/DC in September, in a way. So, like for a concert, anyways. So Paul McCartney, I went with my mom, in a way. I think we paid like $100 each. I think we're up pretty high. I think it was like in the nosebleed section, it looked like. But we did go to the concert. It was about 4 hours, I think, 4 or 5 hours. And I wasn't a big fan of the concert at first because they were doing a lot of Beatles songs. I hate to say this, but I'm not a big Beatles fan. I'm just not. I like about maybe 10 Beatles songs in a way, but I'm a big Wings fan. That's the reason why I went to the Paul McCartney concert, because I heard that he was going to do Wings as well. So we go to the concert and everything else, and the one thing I freaking hate about the stadium, to be honest, is that you have to walk up so many steps slash stairs. A lot of people don't notice about me. Stairs is my worst enemy. I literally have trouble walking up and down the stairs. So yeah, I remember going to that concert and almost falling. You know, if my mom wasn't there, I probably would have fell down the freaking stairs. So, but yeah. Uh, but the Paul McCartney concert, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. It was a good concert and everything else. I just felt like it could have been a lot shorter if they didn't do every goddamn Beatles song in a way. I don't, like I said, I don't really care for the Beatles, but yeah. And I'm gonna give that concert in a ranking of B in a way. So, just trying to think. Who else? Let's do Def Leppard in a way. Def Leppard I seen with my mom in a way as well. So me and my mom literally went to Def Leppard back in I think 2015, and me and my mom decided to go to Old Calcutta in a way. And if people don't know what Old Calcutta is, it's literally a place where you can get cheap T-shirts. So instead of going to a concert in a way and buying a T-shirt for like $80, you can go to Old Calcutta, buy concert T-shirts for like $20 in a way. I probably will do that on Saturday because I got Deep Purple. I might try to go find a T-shirt at Old Calcutta in a way because they sell concert T-shirts, they sell lighters, other stuff in a way. You know, I'm trying to remember what else they sell. But yeah, that's the place that I used to go to literally get like concert T-shirts. And so we got matching Def Leppard T-shirts and went to the concert. It wasn't a bad concert. I just can't remember the opening act. Anyway, but I remember seeing Def Leppard. I kind of liked their light ball. They had like a disco ball in a way that was shining through. There was a few concerts that had a disco ball, but they literally had that disco ball for Love Bites, I think it was, and it was pretty cool. Um, you know, um, so I'm gonna rank Def Leppard. I'm gonna give Def Leppard 8 out of 10 in a way, and I'm gonna give them an A. If they ever come again, I might literally go see Def Leppard again. But at the end of the day, the price has to be right too. So, so yeah, I'm just trying to see who else. Tom Cochran. Let's talk about Tom Cochran because that was the only concert I seen with my friend Sean. So, me, my mom, and Sean Hyde, in a way, who I'm not friends with anymore, to be honest. Me and Sean Hyde had a fallout because he became a racist prick in a way, and literally started literally going off and everything else. And I just literally had enough of him. So I literally said, you know what? I just can't be friends. Even though we were friends for literally like 10, 15 plus years or whatever, I just had enough. But there was one concert where me, my mom, and my mom and Sean went to go see Tom Cochran live at the Red River X, and it wasn't a bad concert, but Sean literally fucked up during the concert, and we literally couldn't find him. So we were looking everywhere to literally and we thought he was lost. Meanwhile, he went to go get food and didn't tell anyone. And we were all like, well, that's really nice in a way. If you're going to literally leave, tell someone that you're going to leave. He's like, well, I'm an adult, like, why can't I just leave by myself? Because you came together with us in a way, you know. So yeah. Uh, Overall concert experience with Tom Cochran, I'm gonna give it a 6, and I'm gonna put that as in the C tier in a way. Definitely, I wouldn't do it again. To be honest, I wouldn't see Tom Cochran again. But it was fine to learn to see him one time. So yeah. Uh, no, I'm just trying to think who else. Let's talk about Pink Floyd, because the Pink Floyd I've literally seen 2 or 3 times in a way. I can't remember how many times I've seen Pink Floyd. It might be 3. I think Pink Floyd might be the only band I've seen 3 times. No, April Wine. I just remember April Wine I've seen like 3 times. But Pink Floyd I did see about 2 or 3 times. So I'm going to talk about the Wall concert first. So I did see Pink Floyd doing the Wall back in May of 2013, I think it was, or 2012. Um, I went with Jay, who was my roommate, and it went thanks to Jay in a way. Thank you, Mr. Jason Bourne. Yes, I will shout you out. But yeah, he literally helped me out in the best way possible, because I got robbed by my roommate. My roommate stole my money for my concert ticket, and I told my roommate at the time, who was literally taking care of the house, which is Jason Bourne. So he literally says, "Well, technically, Frank, don't worry about it." I'm like, "What do you mean, don't worry about it? He just took my freaking cash. I'm gonna kick his ass." He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna cover the ticket. I'm gonna literally buy the ticket for both me and you, and we're gonna go." I'm like, "Oh, really?" So we go to the concert and everything else. You know, um, they do the whole entire freaking show of Pink Floyd The Wall. I'm thinking that it's a pretty good show in a way. And I would literally say that technically it was a good laser show, but it wasn't the best laser show. I still say the best was Trans-Siberian Orchestra, but it was a pretty good laser show, you know. And it's definitely something that I wouldn't literally pay to see over and over again, but for that one time, it's a good experience. Um, I know that they did it in both nights. I do know that they did it in May 31st, I think it was, and June 1st, if I remember correctly. Because I know that they did a second night. The first night they had David Gilmour over here. So you had David Gilmour and Roger Waters. And that was the night that me and Jay went. And yeah, amazing concert. And yeah, I'm going to give that concert a 9, and I'm going to give it a B. And the reason why I say B is because technically it's a concert I might do again in a way, but I don't need to do. So, whereas A, if there actually is an A tier, I would do it in a heartbeat. But yeah, I'm just trying to think who else. Let's talk about Van Halen. Now, I can't see Van Halen ever again. Just give guys a little heads up. I could see David Lee Roth, the craziest son of a bitch I ever freaking met. But I can't ever see Eddie Van Halen again because he's dead. So rest in peace to him. But I went to go see Van Halen with my mom in a way, and Kool and the Gang was the opening act. So I literally decide just to go wander around, you know, because I didn't really care too much about Kool and the Gang, to be honest. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind some disco music, but I don't need to see them live necessarily. I can literally see a few songs. So I just go literally searching around, and I bump into an old girlfriend of mine, anyway, Jessica. And she literally says, "Well, technically, it's been a while. You want to go in the bathroom and go fuck each other?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So we're literally, so all I can hear in the background is Jungle Boogie as we're literally getting it on in the jungle in the bathroom, pretty much. So yeah. So I come out, I'm fucking got a big smile on my fucking face. Anyway, I go see my mom. She literally says, "What the hell are you fucking so happy about?" And then she literally fucking sees Jessica, my older girlfriend, and she literally says, "Wait, did you just in the bathroom?" I said, "Hell yeah!" So yeah, I was also drinking as well. Did a few joints at the concert. You know, you're not supposed to, but technically, you could literally just put it underneath your freaking shoe, under a sock, and you just pull it out, light it up in the fucking bathroom, whatever. You know, pretty simple. So yeah. Um, for the Van Halen concert, I'm gonna give that a 10 out of 10 because of the goddamn experience I had. Drinking, sex, everything else. It was one hell of a goddamn party. And yeah, I would give it an A tier, and yeah, I would have done it again, to be honest, if Eddie was still alive. You know, Eddie died. You can't do it again. So yeah. Let's see what else. Let's talk about Rod Stewart because Rod Stewart has a very interesting story. So, so I went to go see Rod Stewart with Carlos Santana, and this was back in I think 2014. I think it was 20. Yeah, I think it was 2014. And yeah, it was. So it was August of 2014 that I seen him, and so I went with my friend Tim to go see him, and my freaking friend decides, well, I want to get fucking drunk. I didn't want to get drunk because I literally just started working at a new job, in a way. Like I was working at the Bell Bistro in a way, and this was just before my heart attack. I had a heart attack back in 2015. A few months later, um, I think in November of 2015, I had a heart attack. But before the heart attack, in a way, I was working at the Bell Bistro. And it was my first day. I just wanted to ice cap, but my freaking Tim just kept on harassing me. And if people don't know who Tim is, Tim was my old roommate as well. So I had a few roommates over time, and he kept on harassing me. Hey man, I gotta get fucking drunk. I gotta get drunk. I gotta get drunk. So I eventually caved in. I said, okay, I have my ID. Give me the fucking cash. I'll go get you the fucking booze. He had no ID. So I had to go fucking purchase the fucking booze for him. I tell him straight up, just go in the fucking back alley, fucking drink it. What does this fucking idiot do? He goes and fucking walks around the whole entire fucking city, fucking drinking like crazy, with fucking. And I'm just sitting there going, oh my goodness, open liquor fucking charges. Here we go. Anyway, sure enough, the cops fucking pull us to the fucking thing. I'm literally trying to throw the bottle out in the garbage. That's what I got caught with. Just to give you guys a little heads up. That's why I'm saying that this is an interesting story. So I'm literally throwing the bottle in the garbage, in a way, because he's fucking throwing up everywhere, in a way. He's throwing up. He's literally put the bottle down. So I pick up the bottle and go toss it in the garbage. That's when the cops literally fucking pull up and literally talk to us. And they said, well, technically, sir, you've been drinking? I said, no. I have an ice cap. I literally had an ice cap in my hand as well. And I literally showed the officer, this is what I've been drinking. He's been drinking that. That's been throwing up everywhere. So they wrote us some tickets and everything else. That's why I had court. Remember I told you guys I had court? That was the reason why I had to go to court, in a way. That's because of the freaking stupid ticket. I fought the ticket and I won because I told the officer, did I not have ice cap? And they said, yeah, you did. Did you smell any alcohol on my breath? No. And did you perform a breathalyzer? No. That was it. So, and before anyone asked, was I drinking? No. I was too tired. So, but the concert overall was a pretty good experience. You know, you had Rod Stewart with a beach ball in a way, bouncing the beach ball in the crowd. Carlos Santana was amazing. Um, but yeah, and we didn't even go to a freaking jail. We just literally got the fine because I literally told the officer we're just going to the concert and then we're going back home. He was going to throw his ass in jail because he already had a warrant for his arrest for drug charges. But I literally told the officer just cut the guy a break. We're just going to the concert and then we're going back home. Sure enough, they did. So, but yeah, but like Rod Stewart, in a way, I'm gonna like, yeah, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I'll give it a B tier in a way. Uh, let's talk about another bad concert in a way. I've been doing a lot of good ones. I'm going to talk about a really bad one, and that would be Paul Brandt. So my mom was a big country fan, so I literally bought her tickets to Paul Brandt because Paul Brandt was a country singer that she liked. So I buy these tickets for Christmas or whatever. It's a Christmas, and I think that it's just a normal concert, not thinking it's a Christmas concert in a way. So we go to this concert. He does a few songs in a way, and then it's all Christmas music the whole goddamn entire time. He brings out his family. He starts talking throughout the concert. I'm sitting there going, "What the hell kind of show is this?" And I understand that it's the holiday season and you want to spend time with family, but you don't do it during a freaking concert. You do it after the concert, not during the concert. But yeah, Paul Brandt literally does that, and I'm literally just thinking to myself, what the hell am I literally sitting through, in a way? And it was one of the worst concerts, in a way. Not the worst, but it was one of the worst concerts that I sat through, in a way. And people would say, well, you're a country fan, aren't you? I like some, but I wasn't a big fan of Paul Brandt. I liked maybe like 2 songs of his. So, and that was it. My mom was more of the country. So, and yeah. What would I rank that concert? I'm gonna give it a 4, 4 out of 10, and I'm gonna give it a D. I won't give it an F because at least he did perform. At least a few, whatever. The only band that deserves an F was ZZ Top. I hate to say it, but it's true. If you're only going to show up for half an hour and only play like 3 or 4 songs, you deserve an F. So, let's see. What other bands could we talk about? Uh, and like I said, guys, if you guys have any bands that you think that I've seen, in a way, just throw them up. I'll literally rank them if I remember. Let's talk about Herman Hermits. A lot of people don't know that I've seen Herman Hermits. Herman Hermits is probably the oldest band that I literally have seen. So Herman Hermits was around in the early 1950s. I meant late 1950s, I think, in a way. Early 60s, I think, somewhere around there. So I actually seen Peter Noon and the Herman Hermits at the McPhillips Street Casino. This was probably about 2012, 2013. And people literally said, why the hell would you pay to go see a freaking band this old? And I literally said, why not? Anyway, I like a few of their songs. You know, they do the song called Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good. Henry VIII, I Am. So those were a couple songs I knew, and I decided, you know what? It was only like $30 or whatever. So I paid the money. I went to the concert. I had a good time. I enjoyed myself and everything else. And yeah, uh, that concert, in a way, because you had the casino slots playing, I am going to give that concert a 5 out of 10 because it was really hard to hear over the casino. um, that's why I don't really like casino concerts, to be honest. I've done a few. I'll start ranking more of those, but that was one that I just didn't like because all I can hear is the slot machines pretty much in the background. Um, but yeah, it was a good concert. I'm trying to remember if I ordered anything at the concert because they had the table set up. I think I might have ordered a couple of drinks if I remember correctly. But yeah, I am gonna get like The next concert, let's do another McPhillips Street Casino concert, LA, because I used to go to those quite a bit. Let's do David Wilcox, LA. So I went to go see David Wilcox by myself in LA, at the McPhillips Street Casino. Yeah, they do actually. Yeah, they sure do. All you hear is that freaking ding 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 ding. You know. So yeah. So I seen David Wilcox at the McPhillips Street Casino. Awesome concert. I got to literally meet a group of freaking friends in a way, and they drove me home. So and everything else. We sat. We literally had a few drinks. We ordered some food. I think we ordered nachos that not that freaking time. And uh, and a few drinks. I know. I remember that I was so fucking drunk that they had to drive me home because there is no way I was going to make it home. And a lot of people don't realize that McPhillips Street Casino is in the north end, and I had to go to the south end of the city. So it's quite a bit of a drive, to be honest. So yeah. Um, but David Wilcox, I'll definitely give a 7 out of 10. B tier, yeah, and I think that's fair on that one. Um, I'm just trying to see. Oh yeah, I've seen Motley Crue twice. So let's talk about Motley Crue because yeah, I've seen Motley Crue twice, in a way. I once seen them with Jay, so that was the first one. I seen Motley Crue with Jason Bourne. Um, and yeah, because he was a big Motley Crue fan. I literally told him, I told Jay, I knew like the band, and he literally said, "Well, can you get me backstage passes? Can you do whatever?" I said, "I'll try." In a way, I couldn't that night in a way because Vince Neil happened to be performing at another place that night. That's the reason why I couldn't get backstage passes. Because right after the concert, he was literally performing a live show at another place. So I couldn't get backstage passes, and I even told Jay, and he was kind of upset about it. As he later said, "Well, technically, you said you know these guys." I said, "I do." Then why couldn't you get us backstage passes at the Blue Party? I just went, oh, "Come on, I can't do it all the time for all these bands." And I told him that we would have to go to the other venue to literally party with them. And by then, he just didn't want to. So, um, but yeah, the Motley Crue concert wasn't bad. The first one, like I did like Kickstart My Heart. I think that was one of the songs that really was the highlight, you know. Um, and I'm gonna give the first Motley Crue show in a way 8 out of 10 in a way. Um, I can't remember who was the opening act. I really can't. A lot of these bands I can't remember the opening act in a way. That's why I don't talk about it. If I remember the opening act, okay, I'll talk about them. But I don't remember the opening act. But the next time Motley Crue came to town, I went with my mom. That one I can literally talk about the opening act because the opening act just happened to be the guy that I was on the road with, who was sort of my mentor in a way, sort of my life teacher, I would say, Alice Cooper. So Alice Cooper was opening for Motley Crue. So I decided, well, my mom's there, let's go hang out and everything else. So we go to the concert. We go back. I literally talked to security. We were able to go backstage, literally see Alice Cooper. That was the last probably time that I literally hanged out with Alice Cooper. Just to give you guys a little heads up, it's been many years since I hanged out with Alice Cooper. I think that was probably the last time. Was when I went to the concert. We've seen each other. We hugged and everything else. He wanted to know how I was doing. Um, he thought my dad was still alive, so he literally said, "Well, how's the old fucking prick?" That's what Alice Cooper used to call my dad, the old fucking prick sometimes. Because those two didn't really like each other too much. So I told him about the death, and he literally said, "Well, I'm sorry for your loss, but he was a fucking prick towards a lot of people, even me." And I said, "I know." So um, And then Tommy literally came up and wanted literally know how I'm doing. He wanted to make sure that I wasn't on any freaking drugs, which I told him I'm not, which was a lie. Hate to tell you that, Tommy, but it was true, okay? You know, yes, I did do some drugs, okay? Shut up. But yeah, because that's the way how Tommy was. Tommy Lee was literally like my big brother in a way. Hate to say it, but he kind of was. He was always trying to look out for me in a way because he knew that I was kind of going crazy. And yeah, but I didn't really like Vince Neil, to be honest. Mick Mars was good. Nikki Sixx, we were good friends. But me and Vince Neil never seemed eye to eye. And yeah. But yeah, the concert with my mom was pretty amazing. You know, like Alice Cooper's show. I still don't know how he does it even today. I still don't understand how he does it. The guy's like 70 plus years old, in a way. And the guy's going out there like he's 20, in a way. I still never understood it. You know, the work ethic that Alice Cooper literally does as well is insane. Like the guy trains like if you actually seen his training, you literally go wow, in a way. Like it's mind blowing what he does. And one thing that Alice Cooper does in a way is that he's a good golfer in a way. He tried to teach me how to play golf one time, and he literally told me to stick to mini golf because that's how bad it was. But yeah, but yeah, the Alice Cooper one I'm gonna rank just a one higher. I'm gonna rank it a 9. I think the last one I ranked 8. I'm gonna rank this one a 9 in a way because it was Alice Cooper and Motley Crue, and it was the last time I did see Motley Crue. So yeah. Um, I'm just trying to see Bon Jovi. Let's do Bon Jovi next. So I got to see Bon Jovi with my mom. My mom is a big Bon Jovi fan. I was not, to be honest. Like I like some of Bon Jovi's music, but honestly, I actually don't like Bon Jovi because he's kind of a jerk. Um, I'm willing to let things go slide, Bon Jovi, just to give you guys, just to give, let you go, just to give you a heads up. But you were a jerk to me and my family back then, with that frickin' wine and the frickin' steak dinner in a way. Because we were having pork chops, and he literally said, "Well, I want steak," in a way, and I said, "We don't have steak. We got pork chops," and he literally said, "Well, technically, he tried to literally flaunt his money. He's all like, well, here's some money. Go buy me a goddamn steak now." And we were all like, well, that's not the way how things work, you know. So, and then he also wanted his bottle of wine, and we weren't serving wine in a way. My dad had beer, but he insisted on wine. So, but yeah, the concert overall wasn't bad. I remember like a little bit of the concert. I don't remember much in a way. I remember being up high. I remember we were kind of in like the nosebleed section in a way because I didn't really care too much about literally being at the concert. I just wanted to take her for her birthday in a way, and she literally said, "Well, technically," and that's the one thing that a lot of people don't understand. If I do concerts by myself, I would literally maybe go out and buy like a floor seat or something like that. But if I'm literally doing concerts with other people, in a way, I would literally maybe do the 2 to 300 section or whatever. I wouldn't do like the floor seats because it's because a lot of times I'll be buying both tickets in a way, you know. So, but yeah, just trying to think. Let's do Steve Miller. I've seen Steve Miller Band as well. And I got an interesting story about Steve Miller Band, actually. I'm going to talk about the story first. So a lot of people don't know about this, but I actually had Thanksgiving dinner with Steve Miller. So when growing up, I was my friend Keith Miller, in a way, who is Steve Miller's nephew or whatever, and I did not know this, but Keith Miller invites me over to Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm just sitting there and everything else, and then all of a sudden I'm like, "Is that? Yeah, that's my uncle, Steve." I'm like, "Steve Miller?" He's like, "Yeah, you heard of him?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's a big rock star." I'm like, "Yeah." So yeah, we're sitting there and everything else, and he literally said straight up, and this was Steve Miller from the band and everything else. He literally said straight up, before we eat, you gotta literally say what you're thankful for in a way. And he literally said, "Well, I'm thankful for my friends, my family, my fans, and everyone else around the world in a way. And now you. What are you thankful for?" And I was kind of like blown up because I didn't know I was next. So I'm all like, like I'm literally hesitating. And he literally said, "You know what? It's fine in a way. You're thankful to be still alive, and you're thankful to be here today," is what he said. And I went, "Yeah." you know. So after the Thanksgiving thing, he drives me back home. My parents are literally blown away. My parents had never met Steve Miller before, which was shocking because it was literally like the first rock star that my parents didn't know. So so we're in a limo. We pull up, drops me off. My parents are blown away. They're all like, "Can we get your autograph? Can we meet you?" Blah blah blah. He literally said, "I'm just here to drop your son off. I might have 5 minutes if you guys want to talk or whatever." My dad goes and grabs this Steve Miller freaking vinyl record. He's like, "Can you sign this?" He literally said, "No, I'm not here to do autographs." My dad was pissed in a way. So yeah, yeah. But the concert, in a way, I am gonna give Steve Miller concert. I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10. It was a really good concert. I remembered that concert. That was pretty good. And I'm gonna give it an A tier. If they ever come back, I probably would go see him again. You know, and maybe I'll even go backstage because, like I said, I had Thanksgiving dinner with him. Which, yeah, that was kind of a unique experience for me. But I haven't seen Keith Miller in probably about 20 years now. So I don't know if he's still alive or not. If he's not, rest in peace. If he is, well, whatever. So, um, I'm just trying to think. What's another band? Let's talk about Kim Mitchell. I've seen Kim Mitchell live as well. And Kim Mitchell wasn't bad. I've seen her at the Phillip Street Casino as well. The Phillip Street Casino. And yeah. One thing that literally blew my mind about seeing Kim Mitchell live is that I had his vinyl. I still have his vinyl. And he has hair. But when I went to go see him live, he was fucking bald. And that was the one thing that blew my mind. I was like, what? When did he go bald? In a way. And I'm just literally watching him. And that's the one thing that I couldn't picture in my head, is that he was a bald guy. Throughout that whole entire concert, I'm literally sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, what happened to his hair? Why is he bald? Is this really him?" But he literally played all his songs and everything else, and it was a good concert. But yeah, the whole entire concert, I just kept on thinking, "Why is he bald? I have his vinyl. He's freaking has hair." But yeah, um, but the Kim Mitchell concert. Yeah. Okay, yeah. But yeah, it was kind of like that. Yeah, I get it, Mark. Yeah, I read it. Um, but yeah, but the Kim Mitchell concert, I'm gonna give 6 out of 10 in a way, and definitely a B tier. So, I'm just trying to think. Let's talk about the Eagles, because Eagles was a good concert. Eagles has got to be up there in like in my top 25. So I did see the Eagles with my mom. It was actually supposed to be with my friend Preston, but my fucking dumb fucking friend Preston backed out of the concert in a way. So fuck you for that one, because technically I bought both tickets in a way for the Eagles concert, and Preston was supposed to owe me the money to go see the concert. Concert comes right around the corner. Preston tells me I don't have the money, so I'm all like, okay, I gotta try to find someone quick. So I asked my mom, "You want to go see the Eagles with me? I'll give you a discount. I'll just pay half. Pay half of the freaking money. I'll take a hit." She literally said, "Sure." So I think the tickets were literally like $80 or something like that. I charged her like for $30, $40 or whatever. And we go see the Eagles. It was an amazing concert in a way. You know, all the great hits of the Eagles and everything else. It was nice to see the original lineup as well, you know, before Glenn Frey died. Rest in peace, Glenn Frey, in a way. But just such an amazing concert. I would say that's a 10 out of 10. Definitely a concert. If they ever came again, I probably would have seen them. But knowing that Glenn Frey did pass away, it's kind of hard to say. Um, let's talk about Journey, because I did see Journey live, and Journey's actually coming to Canada Life Center. It's called now MTS Center. I call it still, but it's called whatever. I did see Journey back in I think 2012 or 2013. I was actually sick that day, so I'm actually going to talk about the story first. So I was really sick that day. I had the fucking flu. I was not freaking feeling well. I was trying to sell my ticket in a way. I couldn't freaking find anyone that wanted to go see Journey. And it was Journey, Night Ranger, and Foreigner. And I was trying to sell the ticket to anyone. And I couldn't sell it. So I literally decided, okay, I'm going to literally take Pepto-Bismol with me to the concert. Anyway, I got caught. Just to give you a little heads up, I got caught with Pepto-Bismol in a way, and I had to literally dump the Pepto-Bismol in a way in the freaking garbage so I can go to the concert. And I literally said, I'm freaking not feeling well. Then they said, well, you should have stayed home then. Is what the guys literally said. Well, I literally said, well, I tried, but I don't want to lose money in a way. So at the freaking concert, I literally just decided to literally buy Ice Cap for some reason. I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna buy Ice Cap, see if I feel any better after the Ice Cap. I drink the Ice Cap, I feel 100%. I'm 100% better. I'm literally like, it feels like I'm freaking healed in a way. So I go literally whatever, and this is where it's gonna get interesting, guys. Trust me. So I go literally sit for the concert. I literally go see Night Ranger, Foreigner, in a way, and then Journey is about to freaking play. Now, now here, mind you, remember I told you that I wasn't feeling well. I had the freaking flu, in a way. So during the time that Journey literally was just about to come out, I go running to the fucking bathroom. Fucking diarrhea. I've been destroyed that fucking toilet. All I can hear is some Journey fucking song playing in the background. I think it was Separate Ways or whatever. And all I can hear is the fucking background. And everything else. And I'm sitting there on the fucking toilet. And I can't get off the fucking toilet. It's like someone just hit me with fucking X-Lax for fuck's sake. And I've been fucking destroying that toilet and everything else. Eventually the fucking security guard literally fucking started banging on the door because I'm screaming bloody fucking murder in a way. Because of how fucking bad it was. And then he takes a whip and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. But it was a good fucking experience for the security guard, I guess. You know. But yeah. Uh, I was able to learn to catch the end of Journey though, so it wasn't that bad. At least I got to catch about 3 or 4 songs of Journey before. But yeah, I destroyed that freaking toilet. So yeah, but I did see the Night Ranger and then Foreigner, and then Journey was just about to come out, and that's when I ran to the freaking toilet, and then I could still hear the songs in a way. But yeah, um, but and Journey's coming again. It's like September 29th, I think it is. And I'm still like 50-50 on it. I don't know if I'm going to do it, guys. I don't know. If tickets are cheap, I might do that concert. But right now, I got 3 concerts already booked. So for this year, um, let's talk about Queen because yeah, I did see Queen. A lot of people would literally say, "No, you did not see Queen." In a way, yes, I did see Queen. I just didn't see him with Freddie Mercury because rest in peace, Freddie Mercury. My dad knew Freddie Mercury actually, so my dad first met Freddie Mercury back in 1980. He told me stories all about Freddie Mercury and everything else, which I was kind of blown away. But I did not get to meet Freddie Mercury because he died pretty much a year after I was born. So I didn't get to really meet Freddie Mercury. I wish I did, but yeah. Um, but yeah, I seen Queen with Adam Lambert. I think his name was. Here, I'm just looking at the ticket. Yeah, Queen with Adam Lambert. And yeah, go to the concert. It's at the NTS Center. I go sit down, and this freaking I can't remember how much she weighed, but I'm gonna say she weighed about 400 fucking pounds, in a way. And she literally fucking this fucking chick squishes my fucking leg the whole entire concert. I'm literally telling her, "Can you please get off my fucking leg? I can't feel my leg." In a way. She's like, well, I can't move. I can't move. And this is during the whole entire concert. I'm telling her, get off my leg. I'm literally asking for security at this point, but security can't hear me over the damn concert. But at the end of the day, yeah. And I remember literally, I felt like punching her out in a way, just to get her off my freaking leg. But I knew if I knock her out, I'm gonna have to try to lift her up, and someone's gonna try to lift her up. So I just literally sat there with my freaking leg almost freaking broken. It felt like, and yeah. But the concert overall was a good experience. You know, got to see Brian May play, Roger Taylor, and the rest of the gang. You know, and it was a pretty good experience. Um, Adam Lambert was a pretty good singer, to be honest. I don't know if he was better than Freddie though. I don't think he was, but it was a pretty still good concert. And yeah, I'm gonna give that concert probably 8 out of 10 in a way. 8 out of 10, yeah. And I'll give it a. If they ever came again, yeah, I probably would go see them again in a way. But Queen has not performed here since, so um, let's talk about the Who, because yeah, I even seen the Who live, guys. So yeah, I seen the Who with my mom. That's the way I've been probably about 2015, 2016, I think. I can't see the dates. I can only read a little bit of the tickets from all the way up there. I would literally have to get close. But yeah, they're just over there. They're on the wall. And yeah, I've seen the Who with my mom. Um, Great concert. I was originally supposed to go see the Who way back in the day, in a way, and I got sick during that time. I was supposed to see them in like 2007, I think it was. I was supposed to see the Who live, but I got sick. I had tickets, in a way, and I got sick. But it took me literally like almost 10 years later to go see them. And then I literally told my mom, "Hey, the Who are playing. Let's go see. Let's go." And she literally said, "Yeah, let's go." So we go to the concert. Great experience in a way. Um, I think we're in the 200 section, if I remember correctly. I think we're in the 200, if I remember. I can't read the ticket necessarily, but I think we were in the 200. And overall, just a great show. Everything else. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, in a way, from what I remember. Definitely a B tier, in a way. Um, and a lot of people literally say, "What's with the A to F tier?" It's A to F is the experience, whereas 1 to 10 is literally like the rank, in a way. So that's what I'm literally doing it as. So, um, but yeah, I'm just trying to see what else. Uh, let's talk about Colin James. I seen Colin James at the Red River X as well. And that one wasn't bad. I seen him with my mom. And a lot of people don't know who Colin James is. He's literally kind of like a Canadian rock guy in a way. A lot of people don't really know who Colin James is, but yeah, he's a Canadian rock guy. He does the songs 5 Long Years. She just came back to say goodbye, and a few others. Great artist. Um, See him at the River X. Like I told you before about the River X, it's an outdoor concert, so it's really hard to hear out there, and that's the reason why I always give them not a great rank. I always prefer outdoor concerts. I'm telling you that right now. I usually actually prefer outdoor than indoor because outdoor you can get away with drinking, smoking, whatever the hell you want. It doesn't really matter. Whereas indoor, you have to be very sneaky and very creative on how you're gonna get away with that crap. You know, or yeah. Um, but I'm gonna give Colin James. I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10, and I'm gonna give him a C. And I think that's a very fair grade in a way. Like I liked a few of his songs. I don't care for every song, in a way. And yeah, it was a good concert. Let's talk about April Wine. Now, April Wine, I've seen literally like 3 or 4 times. I can't remember how many times I've seen April Wine. I know I've seen him a lot, in a way. And each time I see him at the Red River X. So, each time that they would come, I would go see them. Um, and I think the first time I was on fucking Peyote, if I remember correctly. I think I did Peyote and I fucking was drinking most of that day, actually. And then my mom's all like, "Hey, we got the April Wine concert." I'm like, "I'm fucking stoned." And she's like, "Well, perfect. In a way, you're gonna have a good time then." So, yeah. So I don't really remember too much. I just remember fucking being drunk and stoned and everything else at the first April Wine concert. I sort of remember a little bit of it, but yeah. So I'm gonna give the first April Wine concert. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because I think that's fair. In a way, because I couldn't remember much of it because I was drunk and stoned at the time, and I'm gonna give it probably a C. The next time I've seen April Wine, I did a couple of joints and I fucking was drinking, so I had a few beers or whatever there, and Miles Goodwin caught me with the fucking joint in a way. And if you don't know who Miles Goodwin is, he's the lead singer of April Wine. So he catches me with the fucking joint, and he just says, "Hey," he taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "Don't blow out that fucking joint. Pass it over." So I literally fucking handed it to him. I went, "Here you go." So, and everything else. So me and him were fucking smoking a fucking joint. And that's when me and him actually bonded. In a way, we became actually good friends, and that's why I kept on going to his concerts. He literally said, "Yeah, man, fucking, just stay here. Fuck, let's literally talk, chill." And it was after the concert, so it's like probably like 11 o'clock. I knew the fair closes at like 1 o'clock or whatever. So we and him are literally just sitting there talking and everything else. He's telling me stories about literally being on the road and everything else, you know, playing for bands like Black Sabbath and everything else. And I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, okay." So we all know the same people then. So, and if you don't know and if you never got to meet Miles Goodwin, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Miles Goodwin is probably the one smartest guy when it came to the music industry that you could get so much knowledge from. I actually got so much knowledge of the music industry from him that I was literally blown away. Like he was telling me like stuff that even like I couldn't even get out Alice Cooper in a way. And Alice Cooper was teaching me stuff as well. But Miles was literally telling me stuff like how the music business really is. You know, your friends, your foes, being on the road, who, don't trust everyone, and everything else. And rest in peace to Miles Goodwin, because he did die a few years ago, I think it was. And I'm still kind of sad about it, but at the end of the day, at least I have good memories of him, you know. And the second concert of April Wine, I'm gonna give it a literally solid 8 out of 10 because I did remember it. And then the third one, same thing, 8 out of 10 as well, and they're both going to the B. So, so that's April Wine. And you're gonna say, why is the first one you didn't rank higher? Because I don't remember the damn thing. I was too stoned. Let's rank Iron Maiden next. I did see Iron Maiden. Um, I was at the MTS Center back in 2012, I think it was. Um, and it was the Trooper Tour. Say that 3 times fast. That's a freaking tongue twister if you ever heard one. The Trooper Tour, I think it was called. But yeah, so they were doing all their classic hits and everything else. Um, I was probably in the 300 section and everything else. Great show, great light show, great laser show. Well, not the best laser show in a way, but it was definitely good. Um, um, I would rank that probably 8 out of 10 in a way, and definitely an A. So for Iron Maiden. Um, Holy crap! I'm just trying to see who else. I'm also trying to remember who else as well. There's some bands I'm just trying to remember as well. Uh, okay, let's talk about John Fogerty. Because, yeah, I've seen John Fogerty live, aka CCR, lead singer. I got to see John Fogerty back in 2013 or 2012 or something like that. Can't remember exact year. But yeah, I got to see him live. Went with my mom. And the one thing I remember, in a way, about that concert is that he kept on singing the same goddamn song 4 times in a row. And I literally thought to myself, "Oh my goodness, what the hell kind of concert is this?" But yeah, he kept on doing the same song down on the corner, out in the street, 4 times in a row. He did that song, and I just sat there going, "Oh my goodness, he forgot the set list in a way," because a lot of people don't know that each concert has a set list, so they would have like the songs that you're supposed to play in a way. And one thing that people don't know about concerts in a way that I actually do know because I've been backstage is that they have the teleprompter in a way, and they'll literally have their lyrics, literally right there in the back in a way, literally telling them what freaking thing. So when you literally ever see a singer literally go backstage in a way for a quick second, that's what they're doing. They're actually reading the teleprompter to find out what the lyrics are for the next song. Yeah, and that's the honest truth. So, uh, but yeah. Okay, what band were we talking about again? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, John Fogerty. Okay, so John Fogerty, I'm gonna give that one a solid 7, and I'm gonna give that a B in a way. In a way. Um, but yeah, and if you keep on, and people literally keep asking why I keep looking over there, is because I'm looking at the ticket freaking things to see which ones in a way. Because if I literally stumble in a way, then it's literally hard. Now, just remember, guys, I'm not ranking every concert I've ever been to. If I was to do that, that would be insane in a way. Because this video would go for literally 20, probably about 24 hours. Maybe even longer, I don't know. 1,000 concerts? Yeah, probably about there. um, so I'm only doing ones I remember in a way. Or if I have like a good connection with them. I've seen Streetheart live as well. Streetheart's not even up there in a way. I've seen them at Simboyne Park in a way, and that was a free concert and was like not bad in a way. The one thing I can literally say is that I got eaten alive by mosquitoes because uh, my friend was supposed to get the bug spray because it was outdoor concert and it was summer, and I even told him that. What does he do? He goes and freaking I give him money for bug spray. What does he do? He goes and buys a bottle. I'm like, okay, you got a bottle there in a way. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get fucking juice, man, juiced. I'm like, buddy, that's not what the freaking money was for. He's like, what's it for then? Bug spray. Oh. And this was my friend Eldon. Remember I told you I literally seen concerts of Eldon a few times. And that was just one of them. Because I give them money, we're supposed to get, he was supposed to go buy bug spray for the concert. Goes and buys a bottle, comes back, and yeah, we're fucking drinking and everything else, but we're getting eaten alive. So, for a lot of people that don't know who Streetheart is, they're just like a Canadian rock band in a way. They do songs like "What Kind of Love Is This?" "Tin Soldier" was good. Um, you know, I'm trying to think of the other ones. I can't think of all of the songs off my head, but yeah. But it was literally a show that we literally did enjoy. It's just that we got eaten alive by mosquitoes, in a way. So for that concert, I've actually seen Streetheart probably 3 times, I would say, and each time was with Eldon and my mom. I would say that each for all of them, I would give them a good 7 out of 10. In a way, it's just that yeah, we would get eaten alive by bugs. So and then another one was Harlequin that we seen at the Assiniboine Park. Um, that one I'm going to give 6 out of 10. Probably a C tier. So, and Harlequin does the song "Superstitious Feeling." That's the only song I actually sort of remember um, that they did. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to literally talk about this one actually. I talked about Judas Priest in Montreal, but I forgot to talk about Judas Priest here in from where I'm from, Winnipeg. So yeah, I seen Judas Priest here in Winnipeg actually back in 2015, and I went with my mom in a way, and it was a pretty good experience actually. You know, like I got to buy a hoodie in a way, so I literally saved up some money. I was able to buy a Judas Priest hoodie. I'm wearing the T-shirt actually, but I'm not wearing the hoodie. I got this T-shirt in Montreal, but the hoodie I got in Winnipeg, in a way. And yeah, so I think the hoodie was like $80 or something like that, and um, I think it was One Bad Sun that was opening up for Judas Priest. We were on the floor, got the literally freaking enjoyed the show and everything else. It was a pretty good experience actually. Um, but yeah, both times for Judas Priest I was on the floor. So, but yeah, and for the Judas Priest show here, I'm gonna give that one a 9 out of 10. In a way, I would give it a 10 out of 10 because this is my favorite band. But all because I seen them in Montreal. Montreal had a better experience, I would say. That's why I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. In a way. And you're gonna say, well, it was the same show? Not exactly. They did change up the set list a little bit compared to Montreal. So there was a few songs that they didn't do there that they did here, which wasn't bad. It's just that, you know. But yeah. Um, Another band I thought of in a way just now, Kiss. Kiss was the last band I've seen so far, in a way, and I seen Kiss on November 2023. I went with my mom. I was on the floor. I was trying to get her tickets on the freaking floor as well, but she was so goddamn picky, in a way. She kept on literally telling me, I don't want you spending money on me. I don't want you doing this. I don't want you doing that. I kept on telling her, I'm going to do it for your birthday / Christmas present. You know, I want to get you tickets on the floor. So by the time she literally says yes and everything else, tickets are sold out on the freaking floor. So I'm literally telling her, okay, I can't get you a ticket on the floor. I can still get you a ticket. It's going to be in the 100 section. But me and her had to freaking fight over the damn ticket because she kept on saying, "I don't want you spending money on me. That's too much money." Kept on telling her, "I don't care about the money." Anyway, I want her to go to enjoy the show. And yeah, we went to the concert and everything else. I was on the floor. I remember Paul Stanley, and this is the honest truth. Paul Stanley was literally about, I would say, not even 2 feet away. So they had like this stage in a way for the singer, and he goes in zip lines to this like little stage in a way. This little stage is literally like 2 feet away from where I am. In a way, I didn't know how close I was going to be, but Paul Stanley could have kicked me in the goddamn face, and I would have already got it in the face. That's how close it was. And I remember just literally enjoying the show and everything else. You know, great. That was a great light show in a way as well. And I asked my mom, what was your favorite concert that you've been to? And she literally said straight up, it was Kiss. And that's the reason why I literally said, okay. And we went to a lot of concerts together, but she literally still says her favorite concert was Kiss. So that just tells you, she really enjoyed the show. Um, but me on the other hand, like, it wasn't my favorite, but it was definitely a good concert to go with my mom. Um, I remember, like, also at the Kiss concert, there's fucking women pulling their fucking panties off and throwing it on stage. They're getting fucking thrown out of the security fucking thing. There's fucking girls taking off their tops and everything else, showing their fucking tits. Like, I'm just sitting there going, okay, I'm really enjoying myself. I'm in my 30s in a way, so I don't really care. It's not like I'm freaking 16 years old, you know. But yeah, it was a good concert, and definitely one I would have done again if Kiss would have came again. I don't think Kiss will ever be back. I know Gene Simmons' band is coming in December, but I don't want to see just individuals. I really don't. I'd rather see a band with the whole entire group than just an individual, in a way. So, um, but yeah, there was that concert. I'm just trying to think what else. Ooh. Leonard Skinner. Let's talk about Leonard Skinner. I just thought about Leonard Skinner. So yeah, I seen Leonard Skinner back in 2011. Seen him with my mom. Uh, Great show, in a way. That one had the disco ball, in a way. I remember for a Freebird, they had the disco ball that was going around the whole entire stadium, and it was really quite the cool freaking experience because I think that was the first time I got to see the disco ball being used at a concert, in a way, you know, and it was very interesting at that point. Was drinking, was on drugs like usual. Um, I think I did like 4 or 5 freaking joints that day, and I freaking drank a freaking Jack Daniels Mickey. So I was pretty freaking drunk and stoned and everything else, and yeah. Um, but I'm gonna give that concert a solid 8, and I'm gonna give it an A tier in a way for experience. How long have we been live? Holy crap, over I don't know, 93 minutes now. Oh, I'm just trying to think who else. You know what? This is not really a concert, but I'm going to literally include it. I'm going to include Trailer Park Boys. I'm going to talk about my experience with Trailer Park Boys as well. Because it was a ticket, it was a show, in a way. And yeah, they did perform songs, and, well, some songs. But yeah, I got to see Trailer Park Boys December 12th, 2012, in a way. And I remember this was the Dear Santa Claus Go Fuck Yourself tour. That's what it was called. And it was literally one of the funniest fucking shows, for comedy. Because they literally freaking showed, like, onion rings on, where. you know, and freaking Randy eating onion rings off of Jim Lay's what. Anyway, and yeah. And they were literally, and I know that it was fake. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't his real, what. But It was just a freaking dildo, pretty much. But they're pretending that it's his dick. But yeah, um, there was that. Um, and there was, the party that I literally got they literally said the first 5,000 fans to literally come down. I think we were like the 400 or 500 person in a way, something like that. I think we were 400 or 500. We literally were down there. We got the party with Trailer Park Boys. We smoked a few joints. We literally drank. We literally talked about the show in a way. I got to meet Jim Lee, got to shake his hand. I was a big Jim Lee fan. Um, Rest in peace, Mr. Jim Lee, uh, Jim Dunworth, I think his name was. But yeah, I got to freaking literally meet most of the cast. Randy, Lady, Bubbles was there, Ricky, and Julian, I think. I can't remember who else was there in a way, but there was a few others. But yeah, and we all literally got to hang out. Now, Trailer Park Boys literally does come to town quite a bit in a way. Like they'll be here almost once a year, it feels like, or maybe even sometimes twice or 3 times a year, it feels like sometimes. But yeah, they're always usually in town. I'm gonna give Trailer Park Boys show overall. I'm gonna give it a C. There were some things I liked. There were some things that just kind of dragged on. It felt like, but the overall party, in a way, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, just for the show itself. But the freaking thing was kind of like, you get the meet and greet. It feels like in a way. But yeah, um, I also went to Studio 54 concert. A lot of people don't know what Studio 54 is, so I'm gonna explain. Studio 54 was kind of like a disco freaking thing back in the 70s and everything else. So me and my mom they're literally here. Well, they're doing a disco freaking party in a way. Studio 54 disco party at the Park Theater, I think it was. And me and my mom decided, well, let's go. Let's do the disco freaking thing and everything else. It's New Year's Eve. Let's do it. So we go to this freaking thing and everything else. And Dancing Gabe. I don't know if people know who Dancing Gabe is. Dancing Gabe is pretty much our freaking town mascot in a way. So he always dances at Bomber games, football, Bomber games, which is our football team, Gold Eyes games, which is our baseball team, and hockey games and stuff like that. So he always dances and everything else. And he's there. And he's dancing and everything else. And then they say, well, technically, we're going to have a dance off. One thing that Dancing Gabe didn't know is that I knew how to disco dance in a way. And we're literally dancing and everything else. He's doing this freaking thing. He's trying his best. But nope, nothing compared to literally breaking out John Travolta freaking moves from Saturday Night Fever in a way. So we're literally breaking it out. I win the contest. I get champagne. I get freaking a gift basket and everything else. I'm literally freaking. I also had like 5 girls literally want to hit me up, but I'm with my mom, so I can't literally do that. So yeah, um, but yeah, it was a good experience. It was a good year. It was a good way to end the new year. And for that show, I'm gonna give that experience probably about a good solid 9 out of 10. I think that's pretty good. And I'm gonna give that one a B. Anyway, if they ever do it again, I might even go. But they haven't done it since. Um, what else? Bob Dylan. Anyway, let's talk about Bob Dylan because yes, I've seen Bob Dylan live as well. Um, so the opening act for Bob Dylan was Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler, and you also had some of the original other members as well. So I'm going to say Dire Straits. So Dire Straits came out. They literally performed Walk on Life, Soul in the Swing, Money for Nothing, stuff like that. So all the classics. I freaking love that in a way. But Bob Dylan himself, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bob, but you were pretty bad live. Your lighting was terrible. I could barely not see you. Anyway, I remember There's like a piano, him sitting there throughout the whole entire show on a piano, and with one spotlight. One spotlight, that was it. And I literally thought to myself, "Oh my goodness, we can't." I'm literally trying to look for him. I'm like, "Can I even see him?" And I'm up close in a way. And I'm literally thinking to myself, "Oh my goodness, how bad is the lighting in here?" In a way. But yeah, it was a bad experience for Bob Dylan. I could still hear the music. Like the music wasn't that bad, but literally trying to see him live, I couldn't see you. I hate to say it, Bob Dylan, I couldn't see you. And I wish I could have because I do enjoy your music. But yeah, um, but so I'm gonna rank Bob Dylan concert. I'm gonna rank it a 3 in a way, and I'm only ranking it a 3 because of Dire Straits. I would actually have ranked it a 2 or a 1 if it was just Bob Dylan because, like, if I go to a concert, I want to be able to see the artist, not just and everything else. Like I remember taking pictures and I remember the pictures coming out bad looking. Here, I need to literally lie down for a bit. Oh, ugh. But yeah. But overall, yeah, that was a pretty bad concert. I'm just trying to think. Who else did I see? Um, but yeah, if you guys literally have any suggestions on bands that I might have seen, I might be able to talk about it. The one thing I'm not going to talk about is concerts that I've seen with my dad or dad's work in a way. And the reason why I don't want to talk about that, because that would be a separate video, maybe in the future, and that would be over 1,000 concerts. It would feel like so I would have to do that in like periods of time. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to remember them all. MCR? Who's MCR? Who's MCR? Morg. Because yeah, like you could put initials in chat, but if I don't know who they are, it's going to be really hard. Um, oh, My Chemistry Romance? No, I've never seen them live. It's also like Metallica, I've never seen live. Scorpions, I've never seen live. Led Zeppelin, I've never seen live. So there's a few. There's a few. But yeah, I've never seen My Chemical Romance. I was never really big into those kind of bands, like Linkin Park, My Chemical Romance, and all that stuff. I wasn't really big into them. I know girls that were, in a way, so I did get to listen to some of their music, but it was literally like, you know. Um, like I even got to hang out with Slipknot, but I never really got to see Slipknot live, which is really freaking hilarious. Because yeah, I know Corey Taylor would always literally invite me to literally their concerts quite a bit. Him and Sid. Anyway, Sid would literally say, "Well, technically, you want to come to my concert?" I'll be like, "I don't have time." He's like, "Well, make time." So yeah, I was always offered to go to Slipknot, and yeah, I just never did as well. Um, but yeah, I'm just trying to think of other bands. It's pretty hard to actually do. Like I'm like, yeah, I could list bands that I work with my dad with, and that would be like a freaking long video. Anyway, maybe I could talk about the first one. Anyway, so yeah, the first one I think was probably about 93, 94. Yeah, sure, I'll talk about. First one was about 93, 94. I can't remember exact year when I went on the road with my dad, but yeah, it was right around that time. I think we went to Toronto, if I remember correctly. And it might have been the time that I met Tupac as well. I'm not sure, in a way. It might be right around that same time, in a way. But I remember technically I think it was in Toronto when I went on the road. And yeah, my dad was just being a complete a-hole towards a lot of things. He was he was literally the backup drummer for Alice Cooper. And yeah. And if you guys don't know what a backup drummer is, in a way, so if a band literally has a drummer that can't literally perform, in a way, because they literally been out all night drinking, whatever, partying, whatever, that's when my dad would get the phone call from his agent and be like, well, technically we got a tour, you gotta get to this place, blah blah blah, and then technically we go and whatever. Backup drummers didn't make a lot of money; they just pretty much made enough to survive. So, um, but I don't know if I can even rank that because I have a hard time trying to remember that. To be honest, I sort of remember a little bit. I remember it was raining, in a way. I'm like sort of getting a flashback of it. I remember it was sort of raining out. So I remember him having a fight backstage. So um, yeah. And this is literally like 32 years ago or 33. So that just tells you how old this is. um, but yeah. Got any other bands, Morg? think old rock and roll. I guarantee you that technically. Oh yeah, how could I forget? I just said it. Old rock and roll. Bob Seger. I seen Bob Seger live as well. That was a pretty good concert in a way. I'm gonna give Bob Seger a 9 out of 10, and I'm gonna give him an A in a way. It was a really good concert. Like I really enjoyed Bob Seger songs in a way. You know, he performed all his great hits, and I couldn't ask for anything else. The only song that he didn't do was "Rambling Gambling Man," in a way, which I would love to have heard, but he didn't do it. But overall, it was a good concert. So yeah. Now, can I remember the rest of them? Oh, okay. I was trying to see if you have any other suggestions. Kenny Loggin? Yes and no. So, yes, I have seen Kenny Loggins perform live, but that was with my dad. So I wasn't literally trying to go into the freaking things with my dad, but okay, since you literally said that, I will literally talk about it. So my dad literally didn't play with Kenny Loggins, but he was the opening act for Kenny Loggins in a way. So it was probably about 97, I think it was. And Kenny Loggins was on tour, and my dad just happened to literally play with this band. I can't remember who it was, in a way. And I remember technically they were paying him, I think, $300 a show, in a way, which isn't that bad money. It's just, but my dad got freaking pissed off because he wanted more, in a way. So I remember very correctly, he stole, yes, my dad stole the freaking studio equipment and sold it to a pawn shop in a way. And yeah, my dad got charged for robbery, and yeah, he did a few days in jail for it. And yeah, I had to bail his ass out at the age of 7. And you're gonna say, wait, how the hell did you bail his ass out? Well, me and my mom had to bail his ass out of freaking jail, to be honest. But I had to go with my mom. But there was a lot of times I had to bail my dad out. So, um, but yeah, I remember that he stole the freaking equipment in a way, and he stole like 3 microphones, stole a keyboard, um, and some other stuff. I can't remember exactly. But my dad would literally steal some freaking equipment if he felt like he was getting ripped off. He just would. So, um, but yeah, Kenny Loggins in a way. I don't really remember too much in a way. I was pretty much backstage for most of it. But from what I've seen in a way for a little bit of it, it was not bad in a way. I think I'll give it probably about 5 out of 10 because I didn't really, like I said, I didn't get to see all of it. I wasn't really allowed to go into my dad's work when he was performing or like around that area. So the only time I was allowed to go into that area is if my dad was having rehearsals. So if my dad was rehearsing, then I can go in that area. But if he was performing on stage, it was very likely I was allowed to go anywhere around that area. So, um, okay. I was just trying to see if you had any more suggestions. But yeah, Kenny Loggins was with my dad in a way. So, and you're gonna say, what was that on the news that your dad stole that stuff? No, it was never public. So, oh, I'm just trying to see. Maybe there's another band up here. Oh yeah, Chilliwack. I got to see Nirvana. No, I never got to see Nirvana. My dad did actually. My dad went to Nirvana actually back in '93. Actually, so he got to see Nirvana in Montreal. My dad fucking flew out to Montreal to go see Nirvana in '93. Told me all about it in a way, but I never got to see him. So because my dad decided to go see Montreal win the Stanley Cup, and also got to see Nirvana play. So, uh, but yeah, I never got to see Nirvana. I was also too young when Kurt Cobain died as well. You have to remember, I was literally like 4 years old, I think it was, when Kurt Cobain literally did the thing. You know, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but yeah, we all know what it is. But yeah, Chilliwack. I got to see Chilliwack in the McPhillips Street Casino. Um, so of course, like I said, the casino cha-ching, cha-ching. So it was really hard to hear. Um, they do songs like "Fly By Night" in a way. That's probably my favorite song that they do. So I got to see that. Um, Overall experience, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, and I'm going to give it a C. So da, da, da. I'm just trying to see. There is a little book in a way that I used to write freaking things. Maybe I could literally go open that book. It might help a little. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab the book. Hold on 1 second, guys. Ugh. So this is my old book from way back in the day. So I used to write like a journal of concerts way back in the day. I'm just gonna see if I literally forgot anyone. And I would write dates and times and everything else. I'm trying to find ones that I haven't talked about yet. So these are ones I've already talked about. So yeah, and if that's really it, then yeah, I already talked about that. Okay, there's sports in here as well. Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, Trooper. I never talked about Trooper yet. Yeah, I got to see Trooper at the River X in a way, and that was a pretty good concert. I went with Eldon. Uh, it literally says that I bought 5 beers, had 5 cigars in a way. Um, got to meet the band in a way. Um, but yeah, they're a pretty good concert. And at the time, I literally said they were 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'm gonna literally stick with that. 8 out of 10. Yeah, they were a pretty good band. So, and I probably would see Trooper again if they actually did come, because we got to literally party with them backstage as well. Uh, my friend Eldon got their autograph. I remember he got his hat signed in a way, um, and everything else, you know. But yeah, and overall experience, I'm gonna give it a B. So, this is kind of like cheating in a way because technically some of this is written down. So, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, Bryan Adams I seen. I don't know if I said Bryan Adams earlier, but yeah, I remember freaking going to Bryan Adams in a way. And this is kind of the same experience with Bryan Adams that I did with Van Halen in a way. So remember I told you about the Van Halen concert where I literally hooked up with a freaking chick. Same thing happened at Bryan Adams. I was doing the Summer of '69. Well, listen to the Summer of '69, kids. But yeah. Yeah, I don't think I literally mentioned Bryan Adams, but yeah, I seen him in, it says January 20th, 2015, in a way. But yeah, I met up with a girl, went to the bathroom, had sex, had a big smile on my freaking face. Great concert. It literally says that I give the concert 7 out of 10 in my book. I would literally say that's probably accurate. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I'm not a big Bryan Adams fan. I like some of his songs. There's some of the songs that were pretty sappy in a way. So yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. But the sex was pretty good though, you know. And you can't deny if you did the Summer of '69 with the girl at a Bryan Adams concert, you're pretty legendary. Um, okay, so I'm just looking. Oh, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts I've seen as well. So Joan Jett and the Blackhearts was the opening act for the Who. It says in a way, because I did mention the Who, but I never mentioned the opening act. See, this little book literally, I literally write down opening acts and everything else. So that's why I'm using it. So yeah, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I got to see Auntie Joan in a way. I always consider Auntie Joan because she was my friend's mom. Good concert overall. Um, you know, I literally do always have loved that song. I hate myself for loving you. I love rock and roll stuff like that. I'm gonna give her experience 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it an A in a way. So yeah. Um, that it? Yeah, it looks like that's it, actually, guys, for the concerts that I want to talk about, anyways. So, yeah. It's been quite a long live stream, actually. I think I ranked literally close to 100, it feels like. If I didn't, well, too bad. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming out. We had Morg and everyone else. But yeah, I feel like if I keep going, I'm just going to keep going, in a way. I kind of need to stop eventually. So, but yeah, I'll catch you guys maybe next week, in a way. And next week, I kind of want to do a video talking about why am I a badass. So stay tuned for that one, because I've been through a lot of shit, and you guys are gonna find out. Thanks, Morgan. Yeah, take care, everyone.